Happy Aloha Friday, everyone. It is, for our kids, a very exciting time because it's the start of summer now, isn't it? And so we are going to have the schools emptying out, and everyone is going to be enjoying their time off throughout the summer. Maybe some of you have some exciting summer plans coming up, travels and whatnot. That is awesome. And with the kids around more, some parents have come up to me and they've said, hey, I want to sort of preempt things. I'm expecting more behaviors at home. What can I do about this or that behavior? It could be, arguing between siblings. It could be whining for a snack. And it'll surprise parents oftentimes when I say, oh, okay, well, you want to catch the kids being good. And usually the parent will step back at that point and they'll say, no, I asked you how to stop, what they call a bad behavior, right? And I'll say, okay, well, what you're asking about, right? You seem to be seeking maybe some form of punishment. And if that's the case, punishment, it's hard. Why is it hard? Well, the behavioral research in journals such as JABA, the Journal of ABA, so Applied Behavior Analysis, what they found is for punishment to really work, it has to be done immediately and every time. So it cannot happen that a behavior occurs and then punishment doesn't follow and then the behavior ceases. So if the behavior was to cease and it was to be punishment based, every instance of the behavior would have to be punished reliably. And that's hard because the person who plans on doing the punishing probably isn't going to be around every time that the behavior occurs, right? So punishment-based strategies, they don't work really well. And another thing that you might have noticed is that, punishment, even if it is working, if you're catching it and every time you're being immediate with the punishment, if the punishment stops, the behavior, it can return. So what we want to do is we want to build up the behavioral repertoire by catching, our children being good. And that works well. Why does it work well? Well, it turns out that the most effective way to get someone to continue to do something is with variable reinforcement. So sort of randomized reinforcement, which is good. That's the same as you catching them being good. You don't have to see them do good all the time. We can improve this strategy by using a fancy term. It's called differential reinforcement, and we can make that term fancier by saying, okay, we're going to use differential reinforcement of alternative behaviors. So let's say we've got a child and they're whining at us for a snack. We just ignore the whining, and we can even prompt them, hey, why don't you try again? Use a better tone of voice, buddy. And we could even model it for them, right? Whether or not we have to resort to modeling it or prompting it, when we hear the behavior that we're looking for, which is the adaptive form of, hey mom, hey dad, can I have a snack? You know what? We want to make an exception. We want to give them that snack right away, because what we are teaching is this is the form of the behavior, the adapted form. This is the form that gets reinforcement, that gets rewarded. Now, at first, we might want to reinforce a bit more often, and then we can thin out that schedule of reinforcement. Now, if this sounds, clinical to you, well, to be honest, that's because it is. That's part of ABA. That's what we do. And right now, Behave Hawaii and the LBAs there, like me, Eric Geimer, are onboarding new clients. We're looking to serve new clients, new families in need of ABA services. So if you have HMSA insurance, we are currently credentialed to provide you with ABA services. And so we can come into the home and we can sort of do this clinical sort of behavioral program. Of course, this is a very basic example, and it's basic advice from me to you if you are looking for some. So I hope this has been helpful or informative. And if you are looking for ABA services, I hope that we can connect soon and we can start to provide them right away. So happy Aloha Friday, happy summer to all of our kids out there, and aloha.